Let's stain some glass, y'all. That's right, we're learning Sagrada from Floodgate Games. Oh, it just comes pre-stained? Okay, cool. Setup begins with a shuffle of the private objective cards, and one is dealt to each player face down. Then each player is dealt 2 random window pattern cards and chooses one to play, either front or back, by sliding it in the window frame player board. Discard the other. Each player receives favor tokens equal to the difficulty of the pattern located in the bottom right corner. Boop. Next, set the round track near the center of the table and shuffle the tool and public objective decks. Deal 3 cards of each deck face up in the center as well. These cards will be available for all players to activate during the game. Finally, place all 90 dice into the dice bag and select a first player, maybe the last person to visit a cathedral. Huh? We like it? That's good. Gameplay occurs over 10 rounds. Every round, the starting player pulls dice out of the bag at random and rolls them. Depending on the number of players, only a certain number of dice are rolled. It's essentially 2 dice per player plus 1. See? Easy. These rolled dice form the draft pool for the round. Beginning with the starting player, each person takes a turn in clockwise order. During a turn, a player may select to draft 1 die from the draft pool and add it to their window. In order to place that die on their board, however, a player has to obey some rules. The first die must be touching any edge of the window, and each subsequent die must be adjacent to an existing die, either diagonally or orthogonally. Yeah, that's a vocab word, right? Orthogonally? It's good. The placed die must also match the color or value restriction on that space, but white spaces have no restrictions. Lastly, dice may never be placed orthogonally adjacent to a die of the same color, but diagonal is cool. And that's dice placement. Additionally, during their turn, a player may activate one of the tool cards in the center area. By playing a favor token on the card, they may use the ability listed. If the tool already has been used at least once, all subsequent costs are 2 tokens per use. Goes up. Players may take a die or use a tool or both, or neither. But once each player has gone once, the draft order reverses, starting with the last player and continuing counterclockwise back to the starting player. Typical draft fashion, you get it. Once the starting player has had their second turn, the round ends. Take one of the remaining die of the draft pool and place it on the round counter, marking the beginning of the next round. The dice bag is passed clockwise, and that player is now the starting player for this round. After 10 rounds, the game ends and we score up those points, baby! Flip that round tracker and you're gonna find a score track. Players inspect the dice on their window board and add up the total points from completing those sweet public objectives and their super secret private objective. Unused favor tokens are worth 1 bonus point each, but here's the kicker, each open space on a player's board counts as -1 point, so don't have any open spaces. The player with the most victory points wins. One great keep them honest rule in Sagrada: if a player's window is ever discovered to have an illegally placed die, that player must immediately remove dice from their window until all the restrictions are addressed. Those dice are out of play, and the empty spaces will count against a player in the endgame, so be sure to make legal plays. And that's Sagrada. I'm Becca Scott, and you can watch me play this game and other awesome games on Game the Game, right here on Geek and Sundry. I'll see you there.